Hey guys, this is Anthony. Today we're going to be annotating another game. So yesterday I played this game against an 1865. So the game went e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. And just context about this game, I won an exchange in the middle game. My opponent walked into a fork, didn't recognize the threat. So I was up in exchange, but it was still a game. My opponent had a lot of scary pawns that he could have pushed, but they ran into time pressure and eventually just flagged. So I'm trying to balance between speaking to the video and annotating as well, but I want the end product to be a nice annotated game. So let's write down what I just said. Okay, so I went up in exchange in the middle game. So yeah, in my annotations or my review right now, I do want to see how I could have converted the converted the winning position better. I think black had a lot of counterplay. So yeah, let's go through the opening. And I think I've seen this before. I played d3. Yeah, just keeping it solid. Um, Bishop c5, castles, h6, knight bd2. During the game, I was thinking about flicking in h3 just to discourage knight g4. Because in a previous game, I did play rook e1, and knight g4 was a little annoying. But yeah, I know h6 is a little bit slow, and if I respond back with h3, it feels like I'm letting black get away with it. So yeah, knight bd2, castles, now h3, d6. Hmm. Wondering about h3, because if it wasn't a good move on move 6, is it that good on move 7? So what could a better move have been? Um, c3 might have been better. It's always an idea in these positions, c3, b4, a4. So why did I play h3? I was preparing rook e1 and didn't want knight g4 to come with tempo. And is this a ghost? So let's say I play rook e1 knight g4, and I would hate to play rook f1 and go back. Is rook e2 any better? Hmm. I think rook e2 is the move. Let's just see. Yeah, rook e2, rook f1, kind of the same. Rook e2, d6, h3, knight f6. So with h3, I want to compare h3 to c3 here. So here we have plus 0.1 and about the same. Okay. I think if I could play this again, I would play c3 just because it um, it allows for b4, gaining some space on the queen side. And this knight g4 threat, um, if black wants to do that, let them. Okay, so h3, d6, rook e1. So I do like h3, maybe after black has played d6, just taking away this bishop g4 pin. But we're splitting hairs. Okay, so after d6, rook e1, and I'm looking to maneuver my knight into g3, rook e8. Black's probably preparing bishop e6, and on bishop takes e6, they have rook e6, maintaining their pawn structure. But I think this pawn structure is also okay if they just played bishop e6, bishop takes, pawn takes. They have doubled e-pawns, but they are protecting nice squares. This e6 pawn is a weakness, but white can't easily attack it. If I turn on the engine, I want to say it's about even. Yeah, double zeros. Okay, rook e8, knight f1. And I do notice f7, it is vulnerable, but don't see any tactics right now. Like bishop f7, king f7, knight g5 check. Doesn't do anything, but good to have on the radar. Okay, knight f1, knight a5. And I do wish I had played a3, just maintaining, giving my light square bishop an escape square. trying to see if there's any point where I could have played a3. Like, I'm happy with all the moves I played. Just wondering if I could have inserted a3 at one point. During the game, I did see b4, but don't see anything other than a lost pawn and bad pawn structure. So I retreat back to b3, and I'm okay giving up the bishop pair. They take. I just wonder, would I have liked the game better if I did insert a3 and kept my light square bishop on this really nice a2 g8 diagonal? But black can always play bishop e6 and contest the light square bishop. So, yeah, overall, I'm okay with this. I do have doubled b pawns, though. Let's see, a6, giving their dark square bishop an escape square, and also taking away that weakness. Bishop e3, bishop takes, knight takes. And I do like the position of my knight on e3. It's ready to hop into f5 or d5. So black takes away the d5 outpost, or the d5 square. Okay. So I forgot about this part of the game. So I played c4. I'm trying to discourage d5. And my thought process was I'm adding another controller of the d5 square. But after takes, takes, let's say we have all this liquidation. Um, yeah, black seems slightly better because of these double isolated pawns and also this isolated pawn. Um, yeah, bishop f5 is coming in with tempo, and these pawns may decide the game. Bishop e6. No, that would drop the e5 pawn. Um, yeah, here I would say black is better. Let's turn on the engine. Yeah, -1. Okay. I did think it would be in the -1 to -2 range, but For a computer, it's not as impressed. Um, so yeah, black doesn't go for damaging my pawn structures. They probably missed that. Um, so going back, if c4 isn't the move, what is the move? So what I was worried about was queen d2, d5, and pawn takes, pawn takes. And black's pawns look nice. Yeah, c4. Hmm. So queen d2 is a candidate move. So b6 is an outpost. So knight c4, then knight b6. But I may not have enough time because I'm not even controlling b6 at this point. Yeah, I think queen d2, if I could take it, if I could play this again, I would go queen d2. Okay, so c4. Let me see if I could tag this just so I could look back on this after I turn the engine back on. Um, Dubious. I'll mark it as dubious. So let's see. c4, queen b6. I do think this was a mistake from black, but I do see the idea. They're developing a piece and pressuring b3. Queen b6, queen c2, bishop d7, and I'm trying to slowly improve my position. I would like to get my knight onto f5. I think my knight on f3 would be better placed on f5. It's not an outpost, but if black tries to play g6 to chase away my knight, um, there may be knight takes h6 check ideas, and it's just inducing a lot of weaknesses. This f6 square is going to be weak. Rook a c8, knight f5, And if takes takes um yeah, g6 takes. Oh, there's also kind of close to what happens to the game. Knight captures d6. Okay, so they play d5, and I just go in for the fork. And at this level on Lichess, the 1800s and 1900s, we're still facing these one move blunders. As black, I could see how they were so focused on this idea. They were probably looking at variations like d5, cd, cd, and falling in love with this idea and just not seeing all of white's resources. Interesting because during the game, I cashed in the material. I do wonder if c5 is a move. Because after c5, take queen d8, knight ed, knight e to c4, b5, knight b6, and it's amazing how cramped black's position is. I'm ahead in time, and I didn't want to complicate the position, but yeah, after c5, is it really that complicated though? I wanted to cash in the exchange, but I also need to fight for every single advantage I can get. See, queen here, knight there, and these rooks, I can take them at any point. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if I cashed in too early. So let's put the dubious mark here and we'll get back to it. So I cashed in, I played knight f5, and I took a minute to think about this. Let me add a note. So I was looking again, knight f6, sorry, g6, knight takes h6, check, king g7, knight g4. I do give back a pawn. I think in the game I was also looking at knight d6. Rook d8, knight takes, rook takes. So queen d2 attacking h6 allows queen takes b2. So I'm looking for some counterplay here. Sorry, I'm looking to prevent black from having counterplay. I do like rook f1. Knight h5, f4, f6, takes, takes, and rook up. And the line I was looking at most was bishop takes, pawn takes, with the idea of playing g4 next. Okay, so they play c5. And it makes sense. Black's covering knight d6. This was a move I didn't see. I played rook e2. I spent another minute here. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm trying to think what white's plans are. There's an imbalance. White has two rooks and a knight. Black has a bishop and a knight and a rook. I have really bad rooks. I need an open file. There are none. So maybe I should be preparing f4. So rook over g5, f4 takes. Okay, maybe not f4 right away, g3. Just to prepare f4. Um, yeah, white needs to open some lines. Another idea is possibly trying to prepare b4. So what about rook a4? Let's say knight over. How would I even prepare b4? Yeah, tactically, b4 may not work. Hmm. So g3 takes away knight f4, queen over, king over. I know there are some ideas. Let's say queen here, take, take. This looks a little scary. So king h2 protects h3. The queen swings over, queen over. Here, this was an interesting tactic. I feel like I'm losing the thread here. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm losing the thread. I'm trying to bring pieces to aid in the defense of the king side. Black is down in material and will quote unquote lash out. Yeah, black has nothing to lose. Okay, queen f6, king g2, with the idea of bringing my king to the center where it's safer. From a practical standpoint, I'm up 2 minutes. Black has to have this attack work, and I have literally more time, but also more tempo to just improve my pieces. Yeah, and tactically, I didn't realize what queen f6 did. Um, that means, yeah, king h2 is a blunder. Is a blunder, maybe just a mistake. I didn't look at my opponent's forcing moves. Queen f6 moves out of the way of black's light square bishop. Black wins a pawn. I don't want to play g4, knight f4, rook e1, queen h4, f3. No, that just loses. Rook g3, g6, knight d6. And this just looks very scary. And defending is quite hard. Um, Sometimes as a defender, you have to play the only move, whereas the attacker has many options. Okay, so I lose a pawn. And g4 doesn't work. Loses material. Yeah, and I have to step my king right back into h2. So it looks like king g2 was where it started going wrong. So king h2, now g4 is an actual threat. Queen f3. Yeah, this move surprised me. This was also a mistake. Yeah, so I saw f5, queen d2, and I thought this was forced. And this should be good for white. Queens are off the board. Black's attack fizzles out, and my rook should decide the game. But then I realized that after queen d2, f takes, queen takes, pawn takes, and I'm down a rook. So in this position, maybe just rook e1 with ideas of queen e2. Which is it activates my queen. I am happy that queens came off the board. What was I hoping for here? Because in all these lines, black has a really nice pawn chain. G4, because let's say they play ED, rook takes, knight takes, rook D1, and this should be okay. G4, E3, F takes, pawn takes, rook over. Yeah, maybe this is better. So this capture gives black this scary chain of connected passers. And I was running into time issues also. This fork doesn't work. Preventing knight takes f4. And I think I'm losing the thread again. Seems like I want to bring my king over to the center to help defend against the pass pawns, but knight f4, rook back, takes, check. Yeah, this might be better, but king h2. I want to say the position's still winning. It's still winning for white, but I'm not playing the best moves. Yeah, I notice my king has been on h2 and g2 multiple times. Feels like I just don't know what the plan is, which is true. And yeah, after rook g8, rook f e1, I was worried about e3. e3, rook g2, rook takes, king takes. And this might be okay. Let's say king over. I just don't know enough about endgames to properly evaluate this. Wow. Yeah, black's winning. So even up all of this material, the connected pass pawns decide the game. I'm trying to understand black's ideas. Knight f6, rook over, knight d7, king back. Okay, preparing pawn to c3, pawn to d3, rook g8, king f4, b4, take, a5, 4, take, take. Why not rook takes? e2 check. There's a mate. King e3. Wow. Threatening knight f3 mate. Okay. Okay, you won. Yeah, let's look at the evaluation here. Here, still winning. Oh, wow. Yeah, rook takes e4. Wow. Okay. I just didn't take the hanging piece. Why didn't I see this move? Yeah, my tactics, they're still questionable. There was too much tension in the position. I was trying to get my rooks coordinated and my king to safety. I was trying to avoid knight forks. I was scared of black's connected pass pawns. This is the importance of playing actual games. I feel too relaxed with tactics when I know there is a winning move. In an actual game, you don't know if there's a winning move or simply a move to maintain the advantage. So, wow, rook takes e4. Okay, so computer analysis is done. And yeah, I'm actually lost in the ending there. Sloppy, sloppy game, 71% accuracy. So let's play through this. There are a couple of dubious marks I wanted to look at. C4 was dubious. And what does the engine like? B4. Hmm. What does the engine like? Yeah, the engine likes C5. Yeah, it captured the advantage too early. And rook E2. The engine likes knight G3. And this makes sense. Yeah, during the game, I kind of lost track of bishop takes f5. I think white is playing for f4. So I like rook f1, knight over. Is there f4 now? No, because it blunders a knight. b6. What about knight f4 now? E takes, rook takes. This looks okay, but I do notice Yeah, 95. And black has counterplay. Okay, so rook e2, knight over g3, king h2. Okay, what did it like? b4. b4. But why? C takes, queen a4. If queen takes, rook takes. Yep, queens are off the board. So if queen f6, queen takes, rook. Okay, so queen here, queen takes, and it straightens up our pawns. It is amazing how the position goes from +1 to +2 after the queens are off. So really speaks to counterplay. Um, okay, so king h2, queen over. I like this b4 idea. Hmm. And it's trying to play on the queen side. Okay. Yeah, so this was a mistake. Instead, b4. But after pawn takes, e takes, queen takes, knight f6, f4. Hmm. What about after b4? Just c takes right away. Um, where's the line? So I like b4 here, but after c takes b, queen takes b. So if bishop takes, e takes, queen b6 at the end. Oh, you don't like that? Hmm. Oh, the pawn is hanging. Fair enough. King g2, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Yeah, fair enough. Mm-hmm. It really does not like f4. Yeah, f4. Even e3, like, so takes. Like d3 is coming. Yeah, f4 was preventing e2, e3. Mm-hmm. take. Likes rook f2, rook f3. Hmm. Yeah, this a crazy game. Um, and I remember when I was playing this position, I was praying that my opponent would lose on time because converting this does not look good. It doesn't look easy at all. Okay, takeaways. Look at forcing moves, especially when there is a lot of tension in the position. I'm still hanging free pieces. It's amazing too because this move is doubly bad. Not only did I not take e4, I allow king f5. Oh, but I guess I do have rook takes. So yeah, very, very dubious. Um, Another takeaway I want to note, don't auto cash in the exchange. When you see a good move, look for a better one. The c5 pawn push was very strong. Yeah, all in all, this game went how I thought it did in the opening and the middle game. Felt pretty even up until the knight fork. I didn't realize how strong the c5 pawn push was. Yeah, over here. And one thing I didn't do well was convert. I I think I needed to play on the queen side a lot more. Instead, I saw my opponent was attacking me on the king side, and I was starting to just let him and going into this very passive defensive posture. Usually, when your opponent is playing on one side of the board, you want to play on the other side. Um, that's a nice takeaway to have. When your opponent is attacking you, look to play on the other side of the board. This is a fine balance, though, because if you ignore their attack, it could be checkmate. But yeah, with how this game went, I don't think my opponent had enough pieces on the board to attack me. Um, During the game, I misevaluated the position. I really did think I was winning in the end game with the two rooks, and I didn't appreciate how strong these connected pass pawns were. So yeah, I see how bad my f4 pawn push was. Okay, so all in all, yeah, great to annotate this game and learned a ton. Thanks for sticking with me. Bye.